The room is buried awake, curtains holding their breath, light leaking like it's unsure if it's allowed to watch us. You sit across from me, not close, not far, just enough to feel the quiet. I don't ask who you are, I don't need a story yet. I listen to the way your chest rises, like the night is teaching you how to stay. Your breathing tells me things your mouth never rushes to say. Where you soften, where you hesitate, where you almost leave. There's a language in pauses, a grammar in the way you wait, and I'm fluent in that moment before words draw in the shade. I learn you slowly, the way shadows learn the wall, by staying long enough to become part of it. Your inhale pulls the room closer, your exhale loosens my hands. I wasn't planning on touching you, but my thoughts already did. Silence stretches between us, not empty, just full of things that don't want names yet. I could ask you what you're running from, what keeps you awake, what you want from me, but instead I listen again to the small hesitation in your breath right before it deepens. That's where you are, honest. I trace the rhythm in my mind, memorize it like a secret door, not to open, just to know it's there. The night doesn't push us, it leans, patient, curious. I feel the heat of you running, feel how close closeness can be without crossing anything. Your breathing changes when you notice mine, and suddenly we're speaking without making a sound. This is where I stay, before introductions, before intentions, before it learns how to ask how. I learn your breathing before your name, because names can leave, but this stays with me. Even when the room forgets, even when the light returns, even when you're gone, I remember how you breathed when you were almost mine. We don't make plans tonight. Plans feel too loud, too sharp for the way the room is breathing around us. The lights are low enough to blur intention, high enough to keep us honest. You lean back like you're giving the dark permission to finish your thoughts for you. I know happens when time stops watching. We could move closer, we could stay exactly here, and somehow both feel like choices. The night has its own rhythm, slower than desire, deeper than hesitation, and it doesn't like being rushed. So we let it decide, we let it stretch the seconds until they feel wide enough to lie on it. Your fingers rest against the fabric near my side, not touching but fully aware. There's a tension that doesn't ask for release, only attention, only patience. Outside, the world keeps going, but it sounds distant, like it agreed not to interfere. I don't watch the clock doesn't belong here. This hour answers only to breathe in silence. You glance at me, then look away as if eye contact might change the temperature, and maybe it would. Maybe movement starts with noticing, but we stay still because stillness is saying something. Because not moving is also a decision. The night listens, it always does. It waits for the moment to feel earned. I feel the warmth of you without leaning in. Feel how closeness doesn't always need proof. Your breathing shifts just slightly, and the room adjusts with it, like it's taking notes. If we touch, it will be because the dark led us there, not because we were impatient. There's trust in that, in letting the moment arrive. Instead of pulling it closer by force, I let my shoulders drop. Let the quiet hold me the way it's holding you right now. We sit inside a pause that feels as intentional as if the night itself pressed a finger to its lips. Nothing is missing, nothing is late. This moment knows exactly where it is. Your knee inches nearer, then stops, waiting for a signal that never comes. And that's okay, because waiting is part of the language. The night thickens gently, wraps itself around us, not hiding anything, just slowing it down. I realize then that movement will happen when it's ready, not when we want it. And somehow that makes staying still feel intimate, feel chosen. So we remain quiet, present, unrushed. Let the night decide when we move, because some connections only reveal themselves when no one is pushing. And if nothing changes, if we leave like this, I'll still remember how deeply the night held us. How it taught us that desire doesn't always advance. Sometimes it waits and listens and stays until the dark says now, and not a second before. Doesn't start where things are obvious. It starts lower, quieter, where intention hasn't learned how to speak. We sit with our words folded, tucked away like letters we're not ready to send, but refuse to throw out. There's a warmth building beneath the stillness, not urgent, not demanding. Slow heat, the kind that doesn't announce itself until you realize you stop feeling cold. Your eyes linger just long enough to suggest something without asking for permission. I notice how careful you are not to promise, not to reach, not to name what's forming, and yet it's there. Moving in ether, steady, patient, unspoken promises have weight. They rest on the chest, they press into the ribs, soft feel smaller, as if the walls step closer to hear better, to make sure nothing escapes. I don't break the silence 'cause it's holding something, because it's doing the work we're avoiding. Your breathing changes when the heat rises, not faster, deeper. I follow that rhythm like it's a map leading somewhere we haven't agreed to go. This isn't hunger, it's something slower, something that knows how to wait without fading. I feel it in the pause before you shift, in the way you stop yourself from saying more. The night thickens around us like it's insulating the moment, keeping the temperature steady so nothing burns too fast. We're not touching, but the space is warm, charged with everything we didn't say. I trust this heat, because it doesn't rush me, because it doesn't demand proof to stay alive. If we speak now, it might cool so we don't, and that feels like a decision. Your presence settles deeper, and I let mine do the same. No sparks, just glow. This is how desire lasts, not by exploding but by staying. A slow heat under unspoken promises, warm in the night, one quiet second at a time. And even when we part, I know I'll carry it, this temperature, this patient, long after the words decide whether to exist or not. Time doesn't move evenly tonight, it stretches, then forgets to continue, like it's watching us instead. I stop paying attention to clocks, they don't know how to measure this. They only understand numbers, not nearness. Your hands rest in your lap, open, unarmed, as if they're not trying to convince anyone. I noticed them before I noticed you, the way your fingers relax then curl slightly, responding to thoughts you don't speak. I start counting seconds differently, not by passing moments, but by the way your hands shift almost imperceptibly. One second, your thumb presses into your palm like it's grounding you. Another, your fingers loosen, remembering how to rest. The room stays quiet so nothing interrupts this new system of time. I don't look at your face, faces ask for reactions, hands tell the truth when no one is listening. Each movement carries intention or hesitation or memory, and I count all of it. Your hands move when you breathe deeper, they still when you feel seen, they tense when something gets close, then soften again. Time slows down to match them, We're not touching, but the distance is charged like it's waiting for permission that never arrives. I count another second by the way your knuckles lift and fall like a quiet wave. The air feels thicker, not heavy, just attentive, as if it's learning with me. I realize I'm memorizing you, not in pieces, but in rhythm, in pace. Your hands tell me when you're comfortable, before your voice ever could. They settle more deeply now, and I know without asking that you're staying. The night moves slower, as if it doesn't want to miss anything either. I let the seconds pass, one careful movement at a time. No hurry, no finish line. If this moment ends, I won't remember the hour, or the date, or the reason we were here. I remember how your hands measure time, how they taught me what patience looks like. Another second, another small shift, another quiet confirmation. I count the seconds by your hands because they don't lie, because they don't rush, because they don't lie, because they don't rush, because they're here. And I stay with them long enough to forget what time was supposed to do in the first place. There's a moment right before our bodies decide, when nothing has happened yet, and everything is possible. We live that at night in the narrow distance between intention and movement. You lean slightly forward, then stop, as if listening for permission that isn't spoken. I stay exactly where I am, not pulling you closer, not giving you a reason to retreat, just present. The space between us tightens, not smaller, more aware, like it knows it's being noticed. I feel your breath before you move, feel the hesitation settle into the room like a held note. The space isn't empty, it's crowded with choices, with restraint, with the quiet courage of not rushing. Your eyes soften when you realize nothing is expected of you except honesty. Leaning in isn't about distance, it's about time, and about knowing when closeness would add something instead of stealing it. The night hums low, a patient witness, unwilling to rush us to our delusion. I sense your warmth without touching you, and somehow that feels more intimate. The space become something else to find. But staying here keeps it open, keeps it alive. The night thickens softly, as if agreeing that this is where we belong for now. I breathe slower so the moment doesn't feel chased, so the space doesn't feel threatened. We remain suspended, balanced on the edge between stillness and surrender. The space between leaning in becomes the intimacy itself. Not a barrier, but a shared decision, and I stay there with you long enough for it to mean something, long enough to remember even after we finally or don't at all, at all. Nothing happens, and that's the point. No sudden movement, no confession breaking the quiet, no hands crossing lines they aren't ready to cross. We sit, and the room stays exactly the same, as if it's holding its breath to see if we will. Nothing happens, and everything settles. Your presence becomes heavier, not oppressive, anchored. I feel it in the way you stop adjusting your posture, stop performing comfort, and simply exist. The night doesn't change scenes, it keeps the same frame long enough for meaning to grow inside it. Nothing happens loudly, but inside things are shifting, rearranging. This kind of stillness isn't empty, it's loaded. It carries intention without declaring it, desire without demanding it. You glance at me once, then don't again, and somehow that's more intimate, because it says you don't need confirmation to stay. Time passes unnoticed, not because it stopped, but because it stopped mattering. teaches me how rare that is. How often moments try too hard to justify themselves. This one doesn't. It doesn't explain, it doesn't ask to be remembered. And that's why it will be. Your breathing syncs with the quiet, like you've accepted it as enough. I don't reach, because reaching would change what's perfect about this restraint. Nothing happens and it feels deliberate, chosen, like we both decided without speaking that this was worth protecting. If someone asked what we did tonight, there'd be no answer. But we both know something stayed. Something calm, something unforced, something honest. Nothing happens and it means everything, because it didn't need to become more to matter. You leave without ceremony. No slam doors, no final sentence trying to explain what we didn't finish. The room barely notices at first your outline still resting where you were standing, the shape the light remember. Your shadow stays behind, stretched across the wall like it's undecided about following you. I stand there longer than I should, listening to the after sound of your presence, the quiet you disturbed by leaving. You were careful when you left, like you didn't wanna bruise the moment, like absence could be gentle if handled correctly. But shadows don't move on politely, they linger, they rehearse what happened in slow, dim loops. Your shadow touches me before I realize it, a cool familiarity settling against my chest. I didn't ask you to stay, I didn't ask you to go, and now the room is full of that decision. hesitation is where your shadow was born. That almost, that unfinished choice. I sit down where you stood to feel if the floor remembers you, to see if the warmth was real or imagined. Your shadow lengthens as the night deepens, like it's growing braver now that you're gone. It tells me things you didn't say, things your mouth avoided, but your body knew. There's an intimacy in leftovers, in the parts of someone that stay after they leave uninvited. Persistent, I don't chase you, I don't call your name. I let the shadow have its time, let it finish what you started. Because absence isn't empty, it's crowded with echoes, and you left a careful one. The room slowly cools, but the wall still holds you. A memory in low contrast, soft around the edges. Eventually the light will change and your shadow will dissolve into nothing specific. But right now it lingers longer than you do, faithful to a moment you couldn't stay for. And I stand inside it, not to bring you back, just to feel where you were honest. One last time before the night moves on and teaches the walls how to forget. Doesn't start with things are obvious. It starts slower, quieter, where intention hasn't learned how to speak. We sit with our words folded, tucked away like letters. We're not ready to send, but refuse to throw out. There's a warmth building beneath the stillness, not urgent, not demanding a slow heat, the kind that doesn't announce yourself until you realize you've stopped feeling cold. Your eyes linger just long enough to suggest something without asking for permission. I notice how careful you are not to promise, not to reach, not to name what's forming yet. It's there moving beneath us, steady, patient. Unspoken promises of weight, they rest on the chest, they press into the ribs, softly, persistently. The room feels smaller, as if the walls step closer to your better, to make sure nothing escapes. I don't break the silence because it's holding something, cause it's doing the work we're avoiding. Your breathing changes when the heat rises, not faster, deeper. I follow the rhythm like it's a map leading somewhere we haven't agreed to go. This isn't hunger, it's something slower, something that knows how to wait without fading. I feel it in the pause, stop yourself from saying more. The night thickens around us like it's insulating the moment, keeping the temperature steady so nothing burns too fast. We're not touching, but the space is warm, charged with everything we didn't say. I trust this heat because it doesn't rush me, because it doesn't demand proof to stay alive. If we speak now, it might cool so we don't. And that feels like a decision. Your presence settles deeper and I let mine do the same. No sparks, just glow. This is how desire lasts, not by exploding, but by staying. A slow heat under unspoken promises, warm in the night, one quiet second at a time. And even when we part, I know I'll carry it. This temperature, this patience. Longer. To the west decide whether exists or not. Before your mouth decides, before your posture shifts, before your hands remember what they're capable of. Your eyes speak, not loudly, not clearly, but honestly. In fragments and pauses, I notice it the moment you look up, then hesitate like you're checking if I'm paying attention. I am. Your eyes don't ask, they reveal, they let something slip before you can stop it. There's warmth there, not sudden, something practiced, something that's been waiting. You hold my gaze a second longer than necessary in the room, just like you felt it too. Your eyes say it first before desire finds a sentence, before intention learns how to stand. I don't react, I let the moment stay intact. Reactions can scare honesty back into hiding. The night dims slightly, as if to protect the exchange, as if eyes deserve privacy when they're telling the truth. You look away, then back again, and that return says more than staying never could. I see the conflict they're wanting and restraint, sharing the same space. Your eyes soften when you realize I'm not misreading you. I'm not rushing the meaning. We don't speak because language would arrive late. This was already said, just not allowed. I feel closer to you now, without moving, without crossing anything. Your eyes keep talking slowly, carefully, as if they don't want to be misunderstood. I listen with my whole body the way you do. When something matters, the room grows warmer, not from proximity, from recognition. Your eyes say it first, and everything else spends the rest of the night trying to catch up. If you leave later, this will stay with me. This look, this unguarded second. Because when someone's eyes speak to you like that, you don't forget they said it before you could take it back, before you could decide what it meant. And I heard it quietly, fully, without asking for more. We stay in that understanding long enough for it to settle deep, long enough for silence to agree with what your eyes has already told me. I don't want you. The way things rush, the way days collapse in a night, the way hands grab before they understand. I want you slowly, in a language that doesn't panic, that doesn't confuse urgency with truth. I want you without hurrying, without turning desire into a deadline or closeness into proof. We sit inside the moment like it isn't going anywhere, like it trusts us to stay long enough to feel it fully. Your presence doesn't push, it settles, and that tells me more than movement ever could. I don't reach for you because reaching would simplify this, and what we're doing deserves more care. And I wanna know how you breathe when nothing is expected, how your body exists when it isn't performing. The night slows down around us as if it understands that speed would ruin the texture of this. I notice the way your attention lingers, how it doesn't jump ahead, how it stays with what's happening now. That's where I want you, right here, undivided, unrushed. Desire grows differently when it isn't chased, it deepens instead of sharpening. I feel it in the quiet, in the way we don't fill space just because it's there. I want you without hurrying, without asking you to become something quickly for me. I want you as you are, in this exact pace, in this unfinished moment that doesn't owe us anything. Your breathing steadies when you realize I'm not pulling the future toward us. I'm not imagining next steps, I'm staying, and that feels like a promise without saying one. We let the moment stretch long enough to reveal its real shape, not the rushed version. I want you in the waiting, in the pauses, in the gentle weight of choosing not to advance. Because some connections don't survive speed, they need room, they need silence, they need time to soften. The night holds us patiently, like it's done this before, like it knows what last moves slowly. I want you without hurrying, so I can feel everything as it arrives, not after it's already passed. If we there not because we were impatient. And if we don't, this will still matter. This unforced closeness, this calm wanting. I want you the way night wants morning, not rushing it, just trusting it will come. Until then, I stay here, prison on pressure, wanting. Slowly, deliberately, without hurrying at all. The room is breathing low tonight. I can know sweet rush. Red light leaking to the blinds, soft enough to forget us. Your jacket hangs like a witness on the back of the chair. Everything unnecessary has learned to disappear. As it goes, not touching yet. Letting the cry speak first. There's a patience in your eyes, like you're waiting for the worst, or maybe the best. We never say which. Velvet shadows on the wall, moving slow and we move slow. Every second stretching in like it doesn't wanna go. You and me against my thigh, accidental then not. The kind of moment you feel more than you thought. The clock forgets its joke, somewhere behind the noise of your breath found in rhythm with the tremble in my voice. I talk about nothing, you listen like it bladders. Your hand rests in your mind, crossing invisible borders. There's a story in this silence, heavy, one unfinished. I don't ask what it goes, I don't ask what it is, I just stay right here in the almost. There'll be shadows on the wall, painting shapes we don't name. I bend in around your shoulders, I get slain in your frame. I lean closer then stop right before skin meets skin, waiting attention sink deeper in. Your fingers trace the air a few inches from my wrist, close enough to brightness, far enough to resist. I swear the room is listening. us or pause. I feel you before you touch me, feel you before you try. Desire moving quietly so it doesn't scare the night. This isn't fire's heat that stays, the kind that lingers for days. Velvet shadows on the wall, stretching longer, darker, slow. Every glance a confession. We pretend we don't know. If don't find me, finds my hand. No restful sound, just pressure like a true settling down. We don't talk about tomorrow, it's too low for this place. Right now isn't now. The way you look at my face, as if you're memorizing something fragile and rare. Even later might hurt more if you care. So we sit in the red glow, letting minutes dissolve. Towards moving carefully, not trying to resolve anything beyond this feeling, this quiet shared spell. Velvet shadows on the wall, watching us. The lights are lower than before, not off, just undecided. Like the room is giving us permission to stay undefined. Your outline moves closer, losing details, gaining weight. I don't need to see you clearly to feel everything you create. My fingers hesitate in the space between your breath and mine, as if the dark itself is something to learn over time. Fingers learn in the dark, memorizing shape, not sight. Every inch discovered slowly, like a secret kept by night. I don't rush the unknown, I let it speak, I let it start. This isn't touching yet, it's fingers learn in the dark. Your voice comes softer now, almost swallowed by air. Words falling unfinished, but I still catch them there. They land on my shoulders, stay longer than they should, like you're testing the quiet to see if it's good. I trace the edge of your sleeve, now your skin, not yet. Letting the tension build, where patience and want have met. The dark teaches gently what light would rush through. How to listen with my hands, how to move without view. Fingers learn in the dark, following heat, following sound. The way your body answers without making a pound. Every pause feels intentional, every breath leaves a mark. I'm not lost in this moment, I'm learning the dark. Somewhere the city keeps going, car signals, open eyes. But in here the world has narrowed to where your shadow lies. I could close my eyes forever and still know where you are. By the pull, by the warmth, by the way you don't pull far. Your wrist under my thumb beats honest, this quake, like the room nods gently, like it saw this coming, like the dark itself has been patiently humming. So I move with care, as if touch is a language I'm still learning to speak without damage. Every contact a question you answer by staying by, breathing closer by not pulling away. Fingers learn in the dark, still curious, still calm. This isn't about taking, it's about where we land. When sight steps aside and feeling takes its part, this slow, quiet devotion to learn in the dark. You move the way without meaning to. Just a shift, just a breath, but something remained right where you left. The air held its shape, like it learned you, like it wasn't ready to forget that fast. And I noticed it immediately. The absence that wasn't empty, the echo of your warmth still steady. The space where your hand stays still humming, still aware, as if it touches memory, as if it lingers there. I don't reach for it, I let it exist. This quiet after contact, hard to resist. We're sitting side by side, not as close as before, yet closer than strangers ever dare to be. My skin remembers pressure even when nothing's there, and my body leans slightly toward what it can't share. You're looking ahead, pretending nothing changed, but your shoulders tell me you feel it the same. That subtle distance, charged and awake, like one small movement could cause a quake. The space where your hands stay feels warmer than the rest. A soft distortion in the room right above my chest. I swear if I moved into it, it would recognize me, welcome me back like it's meant to be. Time slows down around us, as if circling the place, not touching it, just giving it space. I think about saying something, but words will ruin the shape. This feeling needs quiet to fully escape. You finally glance at me, quick, careful, brief, as if checking if I noticed the grief or the wine or the restraint in your eyes, the way you pulled away to stay kind. The space where your hand stayed is louder than sound. It says everything without making a pound. It tells me you hesitated, not because you didn't care, but because caring was already there. I shift slightly closer, not closing the gap, just enough to acknowledge what didn't collapse. You exhale slower, like you felt it too. This silent agreement passing through. Nothing dramatic happens, and that's the truth. Desire doesn't always move in obvious proof. Sometimes it stays suspended, unclaimed, aware, like the shape of a hand still hanging there. The space where your hand stayed eventually cools, but it never disappears, it just changes its rules. It becomes memory, becomes tension, becomes part of the night that taught us intention. Later when we're apart, I'll still feel that place, not on my skin, but somewhere deeper, quiet reminder of how closeness can remain even after touch. thicker than before, like it's been holding something since you walked in. Windows closed, curtains still, the night pressing its weight against the glass. Nothing moves fast here, not our thoughts, not our bodies. Even the light seems delayed, as if it has to think before landing on your skin. You sit close enough that warmth becomes noticeable. Not dramatic, just present, a quiet signal that my body answers without permission. Heat trapped in slow motion, circling where we don't touch. Every second stretching longer than it ever should. This isn't urgency, it's pressure without release. Desire, learning patience in the shape of peace. Your elbow rests near my side, not touching but aligned in that almost. Does more than contact ever could. I feel the heat collect right there in the space we're respecting. You exhale slowly, like you're trying not to rush yourself. Like you know once you move, something changes shape, and neither of us is ready to redraw the line. Heat trapped in slow motion, no direction, no escape. It stays suspended, refusing to fade. Your eyes linger half a second too long, and that's enough to tell me everything. I notice the smallest things, the way your fingers flex, then relax and just deciding whether stillness is an action, to the way your jaw tightens and softens again. We speak in fragments, sentences that don't finish, because finishing them would require a momentum. And tonight we're choosing suspension over outcome. Heat trapped in slow motion, settling deep under skin, not burning, just constant, like a memory forming before the moment ends. I don't need more than this awareness that you feel it too. My shoulder brushes yours barely, and the reaction is internal. No flinch, no spark, just a deeper temperature spreading quietly through places no one sees. Time loses definition, minutes melt into posture, into breath, into the way we lean without committing. How closeness becomes a language spoken entirely in restraint. Heat trapped in slow motion teaches the body how to listen, how to wait, how to hold desire without demanding proof that it deserves to stay. Eventually you move just enough to breathe easier, and the heat shifts, but it doesn't disappear. It stays behind, embedded in the moment, like evidence of how close we came. Later when the room cools and the night moves on, this warmth will still exist. Somewhere quiet, a reminder that not everything intense needs to explode. Some things are meant to linger. The light comes from somewhere low, not bright enough to explain itself. Just a red glow, climbing the wall, finding your shoulders, like it knows where to rest. You've taken off harder than before, not in a even notice, just a quiet adjustment that changes the room, and I feel it immediately. The shift, the exposure, the justice, reflections on their shoulder, moving when you breathe, painting warmth on the skin, slowly, deliberately. This isn't about what's shown, it's about what's allowed. How closeness rewrites the rules without making a sound. You turn slightly, and the light follows you, tracing the light from neck to arm. I don't touch yet, I let my eyes learn first how to stay respectful, and undone at the same time. Air feels warmer here, maybe that's just perception. Desire can change temperature without permission. Your posture softens, like you're settling into yourself, like being seen this way doesn't feel the contrast, shadow meeting skin. The way the light makes you look both real and imagined, like a memory forming while it's still happening. My hand lifts slowly, gives you time to stop me. You don't, so I let my fingers have her breath away. Feeling here without contact, learning how much is already enough. You exhale and finally touch just the top of your arm, soft and claimed, and the light seems to deepen as if responding, as if the room approves. Red reflections on their shoulders hold the moment in place, nothing barely moving, like motion would erase. We're building here this careful intensity, this closeness that doesn't rush its own density. You lean back slightly into my presence, not pressing, just acknowledging that I'm there, that this touch is welcome, that the skin warm under my steady real, and I realize how rare it is to feel this. wasn't what you did to stay with me. It was what you chose not to do. The moment arrived quietly, no warning, no doubt. Just closeness becoming real before either of us named it. My hand moved on instinct, not brave, not certain. And I waited, eager for your answer. The way you didn't pull away said more than touch ever could. No sudden movement, no hesitation, misunderstood. Just 2 minutes that held exactly where we were, like you decided this was worth staying for. Your body stays soft, not frozen, not tense. The condition, guilt, and the absence of defense. I felt the trust settle before desire did, and that order changed everything. The room didn't react from shifting light or sound, but something internal found no ground. My breath slowed as yours matched it. Two systems adjusting without instruction. The way you didn't pull away created space to feel without rushing into outcome, without forcing words real. Your eyes stayed on mine, not asking for more, just confirming this wasn't a mistake. I noticed my own restraint, how careful I became, as if your stillness deserved reverence. I didn't wanna take what was being offered. I wanted to meet it at the same level. Your fingers flexed once, then relaxed. A tiny detail, it felt enormous, like you were checking self and choosing presence over protection. The way you didn't pull away echoed in my chest. The quiet reassurance that closeness put rest right here, without proving itself, without becoming performance. Time passed strength rate like it was on our side. Minutes folding softly, one into another. No rush to escalate, no fear of retreat, just two people existing in our proximity. Eventually we shifted because bodies need to move, but the meaning stayed anchored in that earlier truth, that sometimes intimacy isn't in the advance, but in the moment nothing stops it. The way you didn't pull away will outlast the night. Ah, that's a memory of touch, but of this side, that connection can't be quiet, can't be almost invisible. just settles in somewhere between my chest and the way I look at you. Nothing dramatic changes, the room stays the same. Same light, same shadows, but the air feels heavier, like it's holding intention. You sit across from me, close enough to notice how often you swallow, how your hands rest still, as if movement might reveal too much. The quiet weight of wanting presses without sound, not urgency, not need, just something dense and grounded. It doesn't ask for relief, it asks to be felt. I become aware of my posture, how I lean without realizing how my body responds before my thoughts do. Desire arrives this way, subtle, patient, persistent. In small choices, and how I don't look away when I probably should, and how silence stretches instead of breaking, because neither of us wants to be the first sound. Your knee shifts slightly closer than still, a movement so small it feels intentional. To stay right where I am. I think about speaking, but words feel inadequate, too sharp for this texture. Warning isn't loud tonight. It's something you carry carefully so it doesn't spill. Weight of wanting teaches patience, the kind that isn't learned but discovered when the body realizes it can hold more than it ever tried to before. Your eyes meet mine, longer than necessary, and neither of us looks away. That's when it deepens, that's when the weight finds its place. Stop shifting, I feel it in my breath, slower, heavier each inhale, deliberate as if oxygen itself needs permission to pass through. The quiet weight of wanting doesn't demand action, it invites awareness, it asks me to stay present, to honor the feeling without rushing to solve it. Later when the night moves on, this wanting will change shape, become memory, become possibility, but right now it is enough to simply hold it. The quiet weight of wanting isn't something to escape, it's something to recognize. And tonight, recognition feels intimate. You said you should probably go, but your body didn't listen. Key still on the table, jacket half forgotten, eyes lingering like they were waiting for something to stop you. The room held its breath again, it was getting used to that. I watched you from the corner of my calm, pretending I wasn't counting. Every second you didn't move, there's a kind of courage in leaving. There's another kind in staying. You were caught somewhere between them, almost brave enough to stay, almost reckless enough to believe this wasn't just a moment passing through us. The light was low but not forgiving. It showed the truth in your expression, wanting without a plan, feeling without protection. You ran a hand through your hair, that quiet gesture people make when they're negotiating with themselves. I knew that motion already. It meant the door was still open, not the one behind you, the one between us. I didn't reach for you, I didn't need to. You were already closer than you'd meant to be. Your shadow rested against my chest, like it had found its place, almost brave enough to stay. You let the silence stretch, let it say the things neither of us trusted our voices with. If you left now, we could pretend this was nothing. A glance held too long, a night misread. If you stayed, something would change without asking permission. Your breath slowed, mine followed. That's how I knew you were still here. You sat beside me, close but not touching, as if proximity alone might be enough to confess. I felt the warmth of your need, the quiet electricity of almost. You whispered something meaningless, just to hear your own voice break the spell. It didn't work. Almost brave enough to stay, you leaned back, head against the wall, eyes closed like you were listening to a truth forming inside you. I wondered what it would cost you to choose this. I wondered what it would cost me if you didn't. No promises were made, no future imagined out loud, just a shared understanding that some nights ask more from us than we planned to give. When you finally turned to me, your voice was softer, your smile unsure. You didn't say you were staying, you just stayed. And that was enough to make the night feel different forever. It didn't arrive loudly, no spark, no warning, just a subtle shift in the air. I couldn't explain even if I tried. Something settled between us while we were talking about nothing. Your voice steady, mine a little slower than usual. The room unchanged, yet somehow not the same. I searched for a word and found none that fit. It wasn't desire too quiet for that, it wasn't comfort too new. It lived somewhere in between, unfinished. A feeling without a name, doesn't ask permission, it doesn't explain itself. It's as if something inside you had interrupted. I felt it in the pause after laughter, when the sound faded, but the closeness didn't. We weren't leaning in, we weren't pulling back, we were suspended, balanced on something invisible that held us without effort. A feeling without a name is dangerous that way. You can't defend against it, you don't know where to place it, so you let it rest wherever it wants. Your knee touched mine accidentally, you didn't apologize, neither did I. The contact lingered longer than accidents should, quietly rewriting the moment. I wondered if you felt it too, not the thought, the sensation, that soft pressure in the chest that isn't heavy enough to hurt, but too present to ignore. The night moved slowly around us, unaware of what was forming. Streetlight breathing through the window, shadow steady, time cooperative. A feeling without a name doesn't need confirmation, it doesn't need to be spoken to be shared. It reveals itself in how carefully we started to move, as if we'd both sensed something fragile nearby. Your hand rested close to mine again, not reaching, not avoiding, just existing in the same intention. I felt warmth travel up my arm without being touched. I tried to catalog the moment, to store it somewhere safe, but unnamed things don't stay still. They drift, they breathe, they change shape while you're watching. When the night finally thinned and we stood to leave, nothing had happened and yet everything felt different. I carried it with me afterward, that quiet awareness, that gentle pull toward nowhere specific. A feeling without a name, still forming, still undecided. Some things don't want labels, they want time, they want silence, they want space to become what they are, without being rushed into meaning. And somehow that made it feel way than anything I could have named. It didn't start with touch, it started earlier than that. In the way the room shifted when you sat down, and how my attention, the guard doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it clears its throat and waits to be noticed. You were talking about something ordinary, a detail I won't remember now, but your voice slowed halfway through, as if another meaning had entered the sentence. Without asking, that was where desire first spoke. Not loudly, not clearly, just enough to rearrange the air. I felt it behind my ribs, a quiet pressure, not hunger, recognition, like my body had heard a language my mind hadn't learned yet. Your eyes lingered longer than necessary, not staring, listening. checking whether I felt it too. The space between us started to feel intentional, measured, charged with something unfinished. Every movement suddenly mattered. How I shifted my weight, how you leaned back, how neither of us crossed the line. Where desire first spoke, it didn't ask to be answered. It just existed, patient, confident in its timing. I noticed my breathing change, you noticed it too. That's how I knew this wasn't imagined. That subtle alignment that doesn't happen by accident. You stopped talking, not abruptly, naturally, like the moment had taken over and language had stepped aside. Silence arrived and felt heavier than words. I could see it in your jaw, the way you held yourself still, as if motion might reveal too much. I matched you. Stillness, answering stillness. Where desire first spoke, it spoke through restraint, through the choice to nourish forward, to let anticipation build its own shape. Your hand rested on your leg, fingers relaxed but alert. Mine mirrored the posture, quiet conversation without sound. The night leaned in closer, lights dimmed themselves further. Even time seemed to slow, as if it understood something delicate was forming. When you finally moved, it was only a breath closer, enough to change everything, enough to make the moment irreversible, without making it obvious. That was the first sentence, the beginning of wanting, before touch learned its grammar, before intention became action. Where desire first spoke, it spoke in pauses and glances held just a second longer, in the shared understanding that something had begun without permission. Nothing happened right away, and that was the point. Some beginnings don't rush, they mark you quietly and wait. Long after the night ended, I could still hear it, the first subtle voice, slow and certain, teaching my body how to listen. We were careful with each other then, not out of fear, out of not knowing where the edges were. Your name still felt new in my mouth, mine hadn't settled on you yet. We spoke like people walking through unfamiliar rooms, touching nothing without permission. We were still strangers then, but not distant, close in that tentative way where everything feels possible, because nothing has history. I remember how polite we were, how we listened closely, as if missing a detail might cost us something later. Your stories were still introductions, not references. Mine were still explanations. You sat across from me, body angled slightly away, as if leaving room for uncertainty to breathe. I like that you didn't rush closer. It made the closeness feel earned. We were still strangers then, so silence didn't scare us. It felt neutral and claimed a place to rest without expectation. I noticed how you held your cup, both hands wrapped around it, as if grounding yourself in solid. I noticed everything, because nothing was familiar enough to fade into background. Your laugh surprised you, mine surprised me. We smiled after, not sure what it meant, only that it felt good to share something unplanned. We were still strangers then, so desire stayed quiet, not absent, just patient. It watched from a distance, learning our shapes when our knees touched. We both froze for half a second, not awkward, aware. That brief stillness said more than an apology ever could. I wondered who you were when you were alone. You probably wondered the same about me. We didn't ask, some questions need time to grow into themselves. The night didn't treat us specially yet. It hadn't adjusted its lighting, hadn't slowed its rhythm. It was just a night, unaware of what might come later. We were still strangers then, and that gave the moment a certain honesty. No assumptions, no roles, just two people choosing to stay present when we said goodbye. It felt unfinished, not incomplete, open like a sentence paused mid-thought, waiting to see if it would be continued. I walked away carrying that version of us, untouched by familiarity, unshaped by expectation. A memory defined by possibility, not outcome. Sometimes I miss that night, not because it was better than what followed, but because it was pure. We were still strangers then, and everything was still allowed to become something else. It was never said out loud, that's what made it dangerous. Nothing written, nothing promised, just a warmth moving quietly under everything we didn't name. You sat close enough for my skin to remember you later. trace my face, not searching, just noticing. I wonder what you were storing away, what details will return to you later. When the night was gone, I noticed how still you became, as if movement might confess something you weren't ready to own. I matched you with stillness, answering stillness again. Unwritten hate isn't hunger yet, it's awareness, a quiet yes forming slowly behind the ribs. Our knees touch, this time on purpose, no apology followed, no acknowledgement either. The context stayed unnamed but intentional. I felt my breathing change, felt yours follow that alignment, said more than any word would have survived the night. Deepened around us, lowered his voice, thickened with possibility. Streetlight breathing softly through the window, painting everything in patience. Unwritten, he taught me the power of waiting, of letting desire remain a suggestion instead of a demand, of trusting the moment not to evaporate if left untouched. When your hand finally moved, it stopped short, not fear, choice. You let the warmth speak for itself. I realized then that nothing needed to happen for everything to be real. That wanting doesn't always ask to be satisfied. Sometimes it just wants to be felt fully. When the night ended, we left without resolution, no crossing of lines, no conclusion offered. But the heat came with me, unwritten, unresolved, still alive under my skin. Some stories don't begin with action, they begin with temperature, with a slow burn that never needed words to be remembered. There was a night before the weight arrived, before choices learn consequences, before we started editing ourselves for safety. That's where this lives. When everything was still possible, we sat in the middle of uncertainty, and it felt wide, not empty, open like the future hadn't decided how close it would stand. You smile without meaning anything by it. I returned it the same way, no subtext yet, no memory attached, just two expressions existing without defense. When everything was still possible, we didn't measure moments, we let them happen. Laughter came easily, left quietly. Nothing lingered long enough to demand explanation. I remember thinking how light your presence felt, not shallow, unburdened, as if you hadn't been asked yet to become important. The night hadn't chosen the mood, music low and distant, lights forgiving, time cooperative, even silence felt generous. When everything was still possible, desire hadn't picked a direction, it wandered, curious but undecided. It didn't need to arrive anywhere. words to say, and then everything later. At the time, it was just proximity. I watched you talk, hands moving freely, unaware of how closely I was paying attention. I like that about you, that you weren't performing yet. We didn't imagine aftermath, didn't ask who would stay, didn't wonder how it might end. Endings weren't part of the vocabulary. When everything was still possible, even leaving felt gentle. A goodbye that didn't make a promise, not yet invented. I carried that night with me, not because it was intense, but because it was unclaimed, because it belonged to no storyline but itself. Later, possibility would narrow, moments would harden into decision. Care would learn fear, but that night remains untouched, preserved in its openness, a reminder of how it feels before things ask for commitment. When everything was still possible, we didn't know what we were starting, and that ignorance was its own kind of grace. Sometimes, in the quiet after everything else, I return there, not to change the outcome, but to remember how light it felt. To not yet know. The room is quiet, but your breath is loud. Shadows dancing on the wall right now. Your fingers tracing thoughts I never say. It's getting harder just to look away. Hey. The night is slow, like it knows our names. Every second pulling me closer to the flame. I don't ask questions, I just let it slide. I'm already lost the moment you're inside. We don't need words tonight. Silence says it all. Your body's speaking for you, and I don't wanna fight it at all. It feels like the first time, every time you touch me like that, like the world outside doesn't exist. Just skin, just breath, just that. It feels like the first time, even though I know it's not. Your love hits me slow and deep, like something I forgot. Your lips move closer, but you hesitate, like you're scared of what we might create. I feel your heartbeat losing control, matching mine, losing its role. The lights are low, the time stands still. I don't care if this is wrong or real, I just know when you're this close, I forget who I'm supposed to be the most. We're standing on the edge of something we won't name. If this is only for tonight, I'll still let it burn the same. It feels like the first time, every time you pull me in, like I've never been this close, like I've never let anyone in. It feels like the first time your hands tell me the truth. I don't need forever right now, I just need this moment with you. you. Slow down, don't rush the night. Let the silence do it right. Every touch is a confession, every breath is an obsession. If this ends when the sun comes up, I'll still remember how it felt, the way you made me forget myself. It feels like the first time when your body's next to mine, like nothing before this mattered, like I ran out of time. It feels like the first time, I don't wanna wake up yet. If this is all we get, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take a little longer. Let the night decide. Even if tomorrow fades us, tonight we're alive. We're alive. I'm not here with the room acts like you are. Chair pull hair way up, like been where you used to stand. Even the air hesitates before moving on, like it's waiting for permission. It's hard to stay behind, not sure, not dramatic, just a soft outline. Cling to the walls, it stretches when the land flickers, shrinks when I breathe too deep, as if it knows I'm trying not to miss you. I walk barefoot through the quiet, counting forwards by midnight. There's a warmth that doesn't belong to the heater or the night. It settles on my shoulders, familiar, uninvited. Welcome anyway. I sit where you once sleep and feel the echo of your weight. Not physical, something sensitive, like a habit. The wound hasn't broken yet. The silence goes a share, 'cause you taught it how. This isn't loneliness, it's residue, a presence without intention, a closeness without demand. Your shadow doesn't touch me, but you know that it stays. It keeps a respectful distance, and somehow that feels intimate. Outside, lights will on without us, house tracing lines I won't follow. Inside, time falls inward, circle beneath quiet feet. I reignite nothing, I imagine nothing. I just need what remains to its quiet world. Your shadow shifts when I reach for the glass of water. Follows me down the hall, not possessive, just consistent. Like it remembers a version of me that only existed when you were near. Eventually the lamp dims and the shadow dissolves into something less defined. But the warmth doesn't leave, it never does right away. It settles deeper into the night, into me. just enough to make mistakes honest. A single bulb humming overhead like it knows what's coming. You sit across from me, knees angled inward, eyes steady, too calm for what you're doing to me. Low light keeps us anonymous, edges soften, intentions louder than faces. I feel my pulse before I feel anything else, thick in my throat, persistent, unwilling to slow down. You don't move much, and that's the problem. Every still second adds weight, adds pressure, like the night is leaning closer, waiting to see who breaks first. I focus on your hands because they're quiet, resting uninvolved, as if they don't know how loud my body has become. I count my breaths, lose track, start over. None of it helps. There's no rush here, just accumulation. The kind of tension doesn't ask permission. It builds in the pauses, in the almost words, in the way you tilt your head and stop there. Low light hides nothing important. It exposes timing, it exposes restraint. My pulse doesn't spike, it deepens, settles slower, like something waking up and refusing to go back to sleep. I wonder if you hear it, that internal knocking, or if this is a private storm contained behind my ribs. You glance up, hold my gaze just long enough to confirm the damage. The room feels smaller now, not claustrophobic, intent like it was designed for this at this exact distance between us, for this exact delay. If we touch it, we'll be slow. If we don't, this will linger anyway. Either way, my pulse keeps time insistent. Low light stays forgiving. High power pulse stays honest, and I sit inside both, letting the moment decide how close it wants to come before it finally breathes. The walls don't echo in here. They absorb like they were built for this hour, for voices kept low, for thoughts that don't want witnesses. Even the ceiling feels closer, less curious, more protective. We sit against opposite sides of the same quiet, not hiding, just contain. Your words arrive slowly, carefully chosen, like you trust the walls more than the air. I notice how the room listens without reacting. No sharp corners, no judgment, just soft surfaces, learning the weight of what we leave unsaid, and choosing not to repeat it. Your laugh comes out once, short, surprised by itself. It lands gently, never bouncing back. I feel my chest loosen a fraction, as if the walls made room for it. This isn't confession, it's placement, setting truths down where they won't roll away, they won't demand answers. The walls hold everything, evenly yours, mine, whatever lies between. Light moves across them slowly, like time checking in and deciding to stay out of it. I run my fingers along the pain, feeling the quiet thickness, like memory, like intention. If the night asks questions later, this room won't answer. It will keep its shape, keep its silence, keep our secrets folded neatly inside its softness. We don't promise anything, we don't need to. The walls already agreed to carry the weight, to keep things warm without needing names. When we finally leave, the room doesn't change back, it stays this way, slightly softer, slightly fuller, holding what we trusted it with. Soft walls holding our secrets long after we're gone. The sound was small, barely a sound at all. Just wood meeting frame, deciding something for us. The door didn't slam, it didn't hesitate. It clicked like it knew this was final enough. I stood there longer than I needed to, hands still hovering as if I might reopen the moment by mistake. But the hallway was already empty, your footsteps absorbed by distance, by intention. The room exhaled, not relief, just changed, like it shifted into a different mode. A quieter setting where everything means more, because there's no one left to explain it to. Your glass stayed on the counter, half full, half forgotten. I didn't move it, didn't wanna interrupt. The last thing you touched, the air around it still felt adjusted to you. After the door clicked shut, time lost its urgency. Minutes stopped lining up, they spread out uneven, unsure of their purpose. I led them, there was nothing else to do. I sat on the edge of the bed, not lying down, not standing up, existing in that narrow place between rest and awareness. The sheets were warm in sections, uneven, like your body left in fragments. I replay nothing specific, no dialogue, no turning point, just the weight of your presence lifting slowly like a tide receding, without drama, without apology. The light in the room fell louder once you were gone, casting shadows that didn't ask permission. I turned the lamp lower until the darkness felt manageable, until it stopped pretending to be company. After the door clicked shut, I noticed how quiet my own breathing was, how my body stayed alert, as if you might come back, as if listening hard enough could reverse sequence. I didn't check my phone, I didn't sit in your spot. I respected the aftermath like it deserves space. Some endings don't want commentary, they want stillness. The night went on, doing what nights do. Outside this room, inside, nothing progressed, nothing healed, nothing collapsed. It was just held suspended, like a note left ringing after the music stopped. Eventually I lay down, not to sleep, but to let gravity finish its thought. The bed accepting me without question, still remembering you, still warm in places I avoided. After the door clicked shut, the room didn't feel empty, it felt altered, like something permanent had been added and taken away. At the same time, I closed my eyes and let the quiet do its work, not fixing, not erasing, just staying exactly as it was, long enough to matter. The city finally loosens its grip, somewhere past the last siren, past the final light. We pretended to be necessary. Windows dim one by one, like eyes giving up, and the night finally remembers how to breathe. We're still awake, not restless, just unwilling to leave this layer of time. Your shoulder close enough to change my posture, to rewrite how my body rests without ever touching. The night exhales around us, slow, intentional, like it's been holding something all day, and trusts us not to interrupt. The air feels thicker now, not heavy, settled as if everything sharp has been filed down. I notice the quiet details, the ones that only exist when nothing else competes. The way your breath pauses before it continues, the way my thoughts stop racing and start orbiting. No one is arriving, no one is expected. That knowledge alone warms the room. We've slipped into an hour that doesn't belong to progress, only presence, only staying. Outside, the street hums faintly, a distant reminder that movement still exists. But in here, time stretches its spine, leans back, lets us take up more space than we deserve. I feel my heartbeat, not loud, just consistent, matching something deeper, something shared. The night adjusts itself again, like it's sinking to us, learning our pace and slowing down. You don't speak, neither do I. Words feel unnecessary to define this closeness. Life's better, we let this sink into us, learning our pace and slowing down. You don't speak, and neither do I. Words feel unnecessary to define this closeness. Life's better without edges, without explanation, just breath and proximity, and the soft agreement not to rush. The darkness settles into the corners without threat, without mystery. It feels protective now, like a blanket pulled up by something that cares enough not to ask questions. I could stay like this longer than makes sense, longer than memory prefers, letting the night do the hold and letting it exhale over and over until my body falls. as it is. It's not the heat from the heater or the blanket pulled too high. There's something quieter, something that doesn't announce itself, the kind of warmth that waits before it settles, that adjusts when you shift. You're sitting across from me, knees drawn in, hands still, eyes lowered, and I feel it there, listening, presence in the room, as if comfort decided to pay attention. Nothing here is trying to fix you, nothing rushing towards solutions. The air feels open, patient, like it has time to hear the full story without interrupting, without summarizing. You speak slowly, not because you're careful, but because the words are heavy, and this warmth knows how to hold weight. It doesn't flinch, it doesn't redirect, it stays exactly where it is. I don't lean in, I don't reach out, I let listening be enough. Some closeness doesn't need touch, it needs permission to exist without urgency, to stay unfinished. The light in the room softens again, as if responding, as if the walls understand tone. Even silence feels cooperative, holding space instead of filling it. I notice how my own breathing changes, slows, widens, like my body trusts this moment not to turn sharp. The warmth moves subtly, never demanding, never claiming. This isn't intimacy built on answers, it's built on presence, on staying still when leaving would be easier, on choosing to remain open without asking for proof. Your voice trails off, not because it's done, but because it's tired. The warmth listens all the way past the words, past the meaning, into the pause that follows. We sit there longer than expected, nothing resolves, nothing needs to. This warmth understands that some things are meant to be held, not solved. When the night deepens and the room darkens further, the warmth stays quietly attentive, the kind of warmth that listens, never asks to be thanked. The lights are low enough to forgive hesitation. Dim bulbs humming softly like they're holding something back. Your voice arrives before you do, sliding into the room, one unheard, already changing the temperature. You don't speak loudly, you never need to. Your words seem to know exactly how far to travel. They stay close to the floor, close to my chest, like they're meant to be felt before they're understood. I lean back against the wall, paint cool through my shirt, letting your voice do the work. It wraps around pauses, moves between sentences, fills the gaps where thoughts usually rush in and ruin things. Under these dim lights, everything sounds slower, more deliberate. Even uncertainty feels composed. Your voice carries weight without pressure, like it's offering something without asking what I'll do with it. I notice how you breathe between phrases, that small intake before honesty, before restraint. It tells me more than the words themselves. It tells me you're present, not performing. The room reacts subtly, shadows leaning closer, corners softening as if they recognize this tone, as if they've been waiting to hear something human and unguarded. You talk about nothing important and everything significant, fragments, half memories, observations that don't need conclusions. Your voice gives them coherence, gives them permission to exist unfinished. I don't interrupt, not because I'm polite, but because interruption would break the spell. I wanna stay right here where listening feels active, where silence participates instead of waiting its turn. Dim light catches your face, only partially, leaving the rest to imagination. And somehow your voice completes, it fills in what I can't see, with tone, with timing, with intention. There's a moment when you stop speaking, not abruptly, just gently letting the last word settle. I feel it linger in my ribs, in my throat, like warmth deciding where to stay. I think about responding, then don't. Some replies feel unnecessary when the connection is already balanced. Your voice has done enough, it's already placed something carefully inside the room. Outside the night continues loud in its own way, but in here nothing competes. Dim lights hold steady, your voice lowers again, almost a whisper now, and I lean into it without moving. If this night is remembered, it won't be for what was said, but for how it sounded, for the way your voice under dim lights made everything else feel less urgent, less sharp, and quietly enough. We talk around it, careful like circling a low flame, pretending it isn't changing the room. Your sentences end early, mine take long detours. Every pause carries more weight than anything we're brave enough to say. The air thickens quietly, not dramatic, just undeniable. I feel it climb from the floor of my spine, settling somewhere behind my ribs, where restraint usually leaves. You look at me, then look away, like you've touched something hot without meaning to. The silence that follows isn't empty, it's crowded with almost confessions, with words holding their breath. He rises from unsaid words, slow, persistent, the kind that doesn't burn right away, the kind that waits and You can't ignore it anymore. I notice how close you sit now, not intentionally closer, just less careful. As if the space between us got tired and decided to shrink on its own. My body acts before my thoughts catch up. We could speak and cool this down. We both know that, but clarity feels like a loss tonight. Like naming it would flatten something delicate, something still forming in the quiet. Your knee brushes mine accidentally, then stays. The contact is small, but the reaction isn't. I stay still, so I don't scare the moment away, so I don't turn tension into something that needs answers. Heat doesn't always mean urgency, sometimes it means focus. Everything else fades, details sharpen. I hear my own breathing like it's coming from someone else. Slower, deeper, more honest. You start to say something and stop. I feel the absence of it like a physical thing hovering between us. That unfinished sentence adds another degree, another layer, another reason not to rush. The room adjusts again, like it's learning our limits. Lights feel warmer, shadows closer. Even time seems affected, stretching slightly as if waiting to see what we'll do. This isn't frustration, it's concentration. Two people holding back, not out of fear, but out of awareness, knowing that once spoken, some things can't return to this temperature. Eventually nothing is said, and everything changes anyway. The heat settles and steady, contained, alive. We sit inside it, letting it exist without release, without explanation. Late and we're alone with ourselves. Those words will surface, probably too late, probably imperfect, but right now the silence is doing enough. Heat rising from unsaid words, warming the room without ever asking to be spoken aloud. At some point, the air changes, not suddenly, not with announcement. It just stops being neutral and starts paying attention, like it's been waiting for us to notice. Nothing moves, yet everything adjusts. Oxygen feels closer, warmer, less willing to pass through without leaving a trace. Each breath lingers. We're not touching, it matters. Distance sharpens awareness, turns proximity into pressure. I feel the shift in my chest, not tight, just alert, like my body recognizes a quieter rule set. When the air turns intimate, sound behaves differently. Voices soften, footsteps lose purpose. Even silence thickens, carrying implication instead of absence. The room stops echoing and starts absorbing. I notice how you pause before moving, how your posture changes by degrees, as if the atmosphere is guiding you, telling you what pace won't break, what distance won't cool. There's a warmth now without source, not from skin, not from fabric. It settles between us, invisible, undeniable, like something shared without being exchanged. I become aware of my But for now it knows us, moves with us, wraps itself gently around this moment and holds it exactly as it is.